Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am the Omni viewer, and today I come to you to do a little bit of rumor control. So in case you've forgotten, a little while ago, this happened. Michael Dougherty tweeted an image of the Oxygen Destroyer. And no, it was not just a random picture. It was an actual prop from the upcoming movie Godzilla King of the Monsters 2019. Side note, I'm getting really sick of having to say Godzilla King of the Monsters 2019, but that's beside the point. Now, when I reported on this image, I did a little speculation as to what it could possibly mean. I played it relatively safe, figuring it was either a random prop that would be a background Easter egg, or it would be the primary MacGuffin to give us a conflict for the human side of the plot. It would appear I am the only person who has done this. Every other channel reporting on MonsterVerse news has jumped right to the idea that the Oxygen Destroyer is teasing the presence of Destoroyah in the MonsterVerse. Although to be fair, that's not the only piece of evidence they have. They are also going on the reports that other monsters have been licensed from Toho, and some of those monsters will be present in Godzilla vs. Kong. And it's not even just other content creators who are reporting on this either. Lots of people just seem to be jumping right to the idea that if Oxygen Destroyer, then Destoroyah. It's almost getting to the point where people are starting to accept it as fact rather than speculation. So I would like to take a moment to make something perfectly clear. There is absolutely no evidence to confirm or deny that Destoroyah will be in the MonsterVerse. Again, the main thing everyone seems to be talking about is the Oxygen Destroyer. I personally don't think that's enough evidence. I would like to point something out. There have been 7 different timelines in the original Toho Godzilla series, and that's counting each time the Millennium series rebooted. The use of the Oxygen Destroyer is presumably canon to every single one of those continuities, barring Godzilla vs. Megaguirus thanks to the prologue. But Destoroyah has only shown up once. This, I think, makes it pretty clear that the presence of the Oxygen Destroyer itself doesn't automatically equate to Destoroyah's presence. Quite honestly, we're not even sure if the Oxygen Destroyer will even be used in the film. It's quite possible it's going to be a weapon in the hands of the human antagonist, and the human protagonists are going to try stopping him from using it. That's one possibility, of course. At this point, we really don't know. Personally, I don't think that the mere presence of the Oxygen Destroyer is enough evidence on its own to suggest that Destoroyah will show up. However, lest you think I'm being a wet blanket, I won't say that Destoroyah showing up is completely impossible. It has been said that Legendary has licensed other kaiju from Toho. At the moment, we don't know which kaiju yet. I've seen a couple sources claim it might be the Gargantuas, Sanda and Gaira, whereas kaiju such as Anguirus seem like the next logical choice. But is it possible that Destoroyah could be on that list? Yeah, I think so. When IDW struck a deal with Toho to make Godzilla comics, and license a bunch of other kaiju along with him, Destoroyah was in that first batch of kaiju. Between that and the amount of people all over the world saying that they really want Destoroyah to show up, there's clearly enough evidence that Destoroyah does have a global audience, and therefore might be worth introducing. But I repeat, at this point, we know nothing. So I'm making this video not to crush your dreams, but rather to temper them a little. Like I said, even I'm not writing off Destoroyah as a possibility, yet I've seen far too many people speaking as though it is a certainty. And in my past experiences with other fandoms, I've encountered far too many people who got so attached to a particular speculation, especially if they originated it, that they became convinced it should happen and would happen, and wound up very disappointed when it didn't, and then wound up blaming the production as a result. I'm not going to name names, partly because not all of them are actual content creators, and partly because I'm just not that kind of person. I just want everyone to be sensible about it all. Again, we have no evidence one way or the other. Would it be cool? Sure it would be. I'd be very interested to see a redesigned Destoroyah show up. In fact, getting back to those IDW comics, Destoroyah doesn't even need to be connected to the Oxygen Destroyer in order to show up. At the same time, though, I don't want people to get so excited at this notion that they forget it's just a rumor at this point. That's really all I wanted to say this time around. Until such time as we meet again, this is the Omni Viewer, signing off.